Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be what I've picked up from CEX and HMV recently. But first, I've got an unboxing for you. So I've got here in my hand what my son has given me for Father's Day. This is from Matthew, although he doesn't even know that. I'll probably say thanks for what you got is for Father's Day, and he says, "Did I?" And I say what he did. I got you that, and he got. He spends most of his life now just bending metal. And speaking of that, here's a picture of little Matthew working out. Yeah. As Bobby Thompson used to say, when you're sitting in his seat and he tells you to get out, you get out. So yeah, so that actually that's not his face, that's Joe Linton, the player for Newcastle. I said to Matthew, I says, why did he put Joe Linton's face on your face? He says, well, you should have seen the clip of us when I was actually straining. He said, would love to see it. Actually, I'm just thinking about it. His actual face when he was pulling them that sort of pose. Said I looked insane, so I said, "Well, okay." So he's put Joe Linton on so that's the same anyway. Yeah. So this is the package that I've got, and I got it sent to the Morrison's locker because I was at work yesterday, and I thought, well, no one's going to be in it. I'm not going through a letterbox, I don't think, and I don't want to get damaged in the post. Now, as you'll see when I open this, it's something that cost a fair bit of money. To be honest, it cost 62 quid, and it's in this. I mean, come on, Amazon. I mean, if I'm not saying that if you paid some a pound for something, you shouldn't get it in the proper wrapping. But when you think yourself, I don't know if it's damaged or whatever, but if it is damaged or knocked, you think that's why I always, if anybody's thinking about, even if you haven't got a channel, you've got some way of recording it, open these things on a video. And then if this goes wrong and you get in touch with them, Amazon, and you say, look, I've opened this, it's a mess. I've opened it on a video. I'll be putting it on YouTube, even though I've got a YouTube channel. You'd be surprised how quick they get this thing sorted for you. Anyway, so I'll open this now. And as well on here, it says it's sent to Amazon Locker, Caution. Don't know what that means. In Morrison's, tells you the address of that. But it also has my account name on here, which I won't tell you. But it's weird that it's not Mondo Chelloveck. It's not John Perry. It's something else. And when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, when I printed this off, if anyone saw this and thought, who on earth is this person here? Anyway, so there you go. So I'll open this and see. Well, hopefully, I mean, come on, you know, I don't know. Brilliant. I've been after this for so long, and this is the time I knew how to get it. Because when Deborah says, you want to get something off Matthew for Father's Day, I said, well, we're obviously paying for it, so I'll get this thing. So it came pretty quick, actually, much quicker than I thought it would. So what Matthew, well, got is the complete original series of Star Trek. Now, strangely enough, online this looks huge, this box. I'm glad it's not huge, don't get us wrong. I don't know if this is one that's going to sit in the shelves too good. Obviously, it can't go that way because it's going to be too far out. And I don't think it'll go the other way, but it doesn't matter. I just check the corners as you do to see if they're nice. Yes, I just check it in the light to see no one's put the foot through it. There's no dents in it. No, it looks pretty good. But yes, so me and the Debs have been in huge fans of Star Trek now. She didn't want to be, but she is a fan of it. Now, and I thought when I watched them on Blu Ray, I thought these are something special. The thing about this series is that I believe, and that this full journey, this one here is the one where you get the best versions of the Star Trek movies. Sorry, TV series. I think there's three seasons in here, and yeah, I remember watching these on the TV, and I loved them. Honestly, I had all the Mego or the Mego figures of it, which I've still got bits and pieces. There's like, you'll see somebody's hand in a bag somewhere, or the little phases which are lost immediately, and the belts. I think I've got some of them, or the boots. You always used to keep the boots of ones, or they just turn up. But yes, I'm very happy to own this one, and I can't wait to start watching these. Obviously, we're going to watch Star Trek 6 next, and then we're going to go back to watch the Star Trek series original ones. Then we'll probably watch that other Star Trek one that's like supposed to be before this. I think it's on Disney Plus or Paramount Plus. quite happy to stick with the Star Trek ones. The remakes, I would watch them again. When it goes into all the other spin-offs and the new generations, I don't think that's our cup of tea. At this point, anyway, I'll say that. I'll be checking that out and I'll probably tell you about what I think about it on a different video. Maybe on the end of this video, whatever that's going to be. So that's Star Trek, the original series, thanks to Matthew. I mean, the Debs have started getting into this. Now, this set here is a bit of a strange one. You've got your 3 seasons there, and they come out in a certain fashion. Now, when I opened this, most of the discs have come out of the set, and you'll see what I mean when I show you. I'm watching one at the minute, and they're in like that, which isn't the greatest way to have them, if I'm honest, but at least the spindles don't break. Now, when we are watching them, because you see, we'll watch this one here, the first disc, we're on the second disc now. When you take them out, you feel like you're scratching them a lot. So what I do is, when I'm watching one, I'll take it out, put in this, watch that season, well, that's 4 episodes, then I'll put them back in here. So that makes save yourself some wear and tear down the line. These discs are just packed with stuff. You get 2 versions of the episode. You get one that's been remastered with special digital effects, which aren't really too much in your face. I think what they do is when the Enterprise is flying around, they'll change that to something that looks a bit more presentable. And they then will put little bits and pieces in, but it's not too much. It's not like they've changed everything about it, which I think would have been a little bit disappointing if that had happened. But they've cleaned it up really nice. And I've got to say, these look spectacular. What I wasn't expecting, or what we weren't expecting, was every episode of this far is 50 minutes long. So there's a lot of stuff in here. And I tell you what, these episodes are so entertaining. I think we watched about 6 now. And they're so not unlike what I thought they were going to be. The only one I remember from this is where Captain Kirk has a sort of strange doppelganger who is like everything bad about Captain Kirk in one body. It's so really so entertaining. But you've got some really like kind of heavy. Deborah says, "Is this the type of thing you were expecting?" I says, "Not really, but I'm really enjoying what I've seen thus far." So we are every night we'll maybe stick one on, or when we haven't got anything to watch, we'll put one on. This is a great set. It's a bit strange for how to put it on the shelves. I think it's going to have to go on the floor somewhere over there. But it's this for me. If you're into this stuff or you want to get into this stuff, this is the box set to go for. It's just got everything you would want. Plus, we started off on the first season or series, and this book started on the second episode, which is the first episode on the box. But the first episode is the pilot episode, which is the one we're going to watch last, because the pilot episode ties in with that new series called Strange Worlds. Wow, that took a bit of figuring out. Anyway, thanks to my son for buying this for me for my Father's Day present. It's a great present and highly recommended if you're into this sort of thing. That's Star Trek, The Full Journey. So first of all, from CEX for £6, I got Mighty Joe Young, the premium collection. Now, of course, when I get these titles from CEX, I've got to check out and make sure everything is in the box, which it is. So in here, you do get a poster. So there's your poster. Would I actually hang this up? Well, probably not, but this is the type of thing I would like to have on the wall. Here's the art cards. They have this on the back of all of them. This film is in black and white, actually, and these art cards are a little bit strange because they're drawn, which is a bit different. This film's from 1949, it's black and white, and it features the amazing special effects by the late, great Ray Harryhausen, who did special effects on all of these stop motion ones, which you must have seen them. I don't imagine there's anybody in the world who hasn't seen a movie that hasn't got the Ray Harryhausen stop motion effects in it. This movie is obviously a bit like King Kong in a fashion. There's the interior of the box. I remember seeing this as a kid and thinking it was really good. It's spine number 77. The box is in pretty good condition, got a few sort of, twists. The thing about this premium collection, that they're great, I would have preferred that this box didn't have that, like, it fits in. If this was a solid box, like you get like a slipcase box, I think it would have been much better. And you always get like not damage, but the shelf wear always seems to start there. But this is such a tactile cover. I love these covers that you can really sort of feel and get something out of. This is a beautiful cover as well. Then the movie itself looked really good, actually. It's black and white, it's square frame, and it's a really good looking print that they've chose for this movie. Obviously, the special effects are literally, for the time, second to none. Ray Harryhausen was the man for this type of thing. And this movie reminds me from when I was watching it back in the day. I used to think this was quite a comedy. You do get some special features there as well. But in general, this is a great release and one of the ones that the devs will watch this type of thing. And I'm really glad to pick this classic up. That's Mighty Joe Young. Next, I got for £5 Phantom Lady. This is the alternative cover. Put it on so you get rid of the age rating there. But the original cover that they had, I always thought this was a horror movie. And I thought this was like a sort of universal horror movie, but it's not. It's a noir film. And it's got a really interesting story, which I'll tell you about. But I really love that cover. It's a shame that I had to change it around for the age rating, but there you go. But I kind of, when you open it up, you can see that cover there. It's got your booklet in and an art card, so that's good. Got a nice booklet actually. This artwork just absolutely spectacular. And you get this one as well, which I've never heard of, but it's a really good art card actually. Now I'll read this out here because this sounds a really good watch. These noir films, a bit like, you could say they're kind of like early giallos in a fashion, but without the gore. These have such interesting premises as giallo does. So this one says, after a fight with his wife, Scott Henderson heads to a bar to drown his sorrows. There he strikes up a conversation with a mysterious, despondent lady who agrees to accompany him to a show uptown, but withholds her name. Arriving home, Scott is met by grimly countenanced cops. Try saying that after 10 pints. His wife has been murdered with one of his neckties, and he is the prime suspect. He has a solid alibi, but his theatre companion is nowhere to be found, and no one remembers seeing them together. When Scott is charged with murdering his wife, it falls to his devoted secretary to find the Phantom Lady and save Scott from the electric chair. Wow, what a story, yeah? So put it on, and it looks really good. I mean, these Arrow Academy titles, Arrow Academy is no longer, is it? And they've been kind of mixed in with the Arrow titles now. But this obviously that sounds great. It's a short film, probably about an hour and a half or an hour and 20 minutes. But these ones here, 1944, this is from black and white, square framed. This is a really interesting story, and I'm so glad I picked it up because I was drawn to this other cover thinking it was going to be a horror film. It's not a horror film, but actually that story there sounds like it could be a really good film. So that's Phantom Lady. Next up, I've seen this movie quite a few times in CEX, but without a slip. I didn't even know the slip existed. And I have heard this is it's either one of the worst films ever made or one of the most obnoxious films ever made. But either way, I thought on that premise, I've got to see it. So the film is for £2, movie 43. Got some nice bit of embossing there as well. Now the cast in here, have a listen to this. I'll read out some of the cast in here. Kristen Bell, Halle Berry, Kate Bosworth, Gerard Butler, Anita Faris, Richard Gere, Terence Howard, Hugh Jackman, Johnny Knoxville, Justin Long, Liev Schreiber, Sean William Scott, Emma Stone, Jason Sudeikis, I think that's his name, Uma Thurman, Naomi Watts, and Kate Winslet. I mean, come on. Wow. Emma Stone as well. Did I say her? I put it on. I mean, obviously the quality is really good because it's a brand new film, although it's 10 years old now, actually. And it looked crazy. And to be honest, no, that's not embossed. This is all you really want from it, just a daft throwaway movie. But the premise of it, I think, is a bit like just short movies, short little clips, a bit like Kentucky Fried Movie. And I'm interested to see it. I'm interested to see if it is one of the worst things you can ever watch in your whole life. £2, I couldn't grumble. I just want to see it because when I hear something bad, I've got to see it. I don't know if you're the same, but anyway. So that's movie 43. And last up from CEX for £5, I picked up Warcraft 4K. Now, Warcraft the beginning. Now, my good friend Dave Ramsden and Jill sent me up a package the other day, and the slipcover was in there, Spoiler alert. And I've got two boxes actually open from Dave. That's coming up. And this one here was in there. It was a 3D version, and 3D slip looks absolutely brilliant. But when I saw this, and I was talking about it on that video, saying, that's something I was quite intrigued about. I'm not into this Warcraft thing, when in the shops and they're playing with like the little figures. I'm not into that at all. I just like this sort of like this world thing, a bit like Lord of the Rings, a bit. So I thought, why not? I'll check it out. And I know I've got the slip for the other one, the 3D version, but hey, I might say this was only £5. So I reckon the other one, the 3D version, which is a great slip. I want to keep the slip and I want to put it on the shelves because it's just a lovely lenticular. So I thought, but I'll get this as something to watch, the one I would watch and try it out and see what I think of it. And I put it on, and obviously the quality on here is absolutely stunning. Now, sometimes this is a lot of effects heavy. This movie, you can see there's somebody on the screen, but there's obviously a CGI character with them, and a lot of the times in this movie. But weirdly enough, that doesn't take away from the quality of the picture of the person. I thought they were being very DNR'd and to put this all together. But no, it's really sharp, very colourful. Like the picture, the sharpness, the detail, the level of it is stunning. So this was quite. I thought it'd be nice, but I wasn't. I was really surprised to see how nice it was. Obviously, I think it's got Dolby surrounding everything in Dolby Vision. It's just spectacular to look at. I don't know how good the film would be. I think there's a few of these actually, and I might be tempted to check them out. Like pick them all up. Maybe I'll see how this one goes. But anyway, on the back of that, like I say, on the back of that slip I got from Dave, I thought, I'm going to check this out when I saw it. Now, on a side note, if anybody knows the CEX down in North Shields, they have a stack of steel books, and I mean a stack. I've never seen so many. They've got like 3 shelves worth, and there's some good steel books in there, and they're not that expensive. They're not 4K. They're all Blu Ray. There's some really collectible ones in there as well. They're all on the shelves, and I didn't pick any up, but I was tempted to sort of get a few, but they're all in Blu Rays, and I've got the 4Ks, and it'd be a bit of a backward step for me. But if you're a steelbook fan, they've got a plethora in there. And if you're, anywhere near there, I would urge you to get down there with a pocket full of cash and clean some of them off the shelves. And they're in great, not all of them in good condition. One of them actually, the RAID 2 is like bent completely as if someone's just snapped it in half. The rest of them are in pretty good condition. So that's a heads up for anybody who lives near North Shields to get yourself over there for a good cheap steelbook in some cases. So that's Warcraft. So next up from Amazon, I picked up Lady Reporter on Eureka. Now, this stars the amazing Cynthia Rothrock, and I think I'm right in believing that Above the Law, which was the movie that she probably did just before this is Above the Law 2, or it's classed as Above the Law 2, but it's not really a sequel. I think it's in the same ilk as Above the Law, which is a great movie. Got some R cards here. I think it's got 3 R cards. Now, Cynthia Rothrock is an absolute amazing martial artist. She's one of the best female martial artists for me, hands down. She's got some great moves. Got a great booklet in here as well. Packed with stuff, packed with pictures and text. Now, I've never seen this movie. I've seen a lot of Cynthia Rothrock's ones that were released in the UK. This was probably released in the UK, but I can't remember it at all. I can't remember hearing that title. Maybe Above the Law 2, that might have got released as. That's a good picture. And this movie here looks stunning. Now, every time Eureka release something like this, I'm always up for it because I always think that you're going to get something good from Eureka. They're a label I can trust. Get some artwork there in the disc, and you get some pictures behind the disc. And this one doesn't let you down. You get 2 cuts of the movie. You get like an export cut, and you also get a theatrical cut. Where the theatrical or vice versa, one of them is only in Cantonese, and the other one is in English dub if you wanted it. But these are movies that me and the devs love. For me, Cynthia Rothrock makes some great movies, and she's not represented enough, I think. And also, I would love them to get China O'Brien out because that was one of my favourites. I remember that back in the day. But interested, love these slipcovers as well. I knew I had to pick this up from Eureka. You can't buy these in the shops actually. HMV don't do. Sometimes you see these in CEX, and I always pick them up because usually they come down to a decent price there. But I think me and the Debs are going to have a great time with this. And I think there's some comedy in there as well, as there is in most of these martial art movies from the sort of late 80s. So that's Leader Reporter. Okay, so from HMV for $10.99, I got Broadcast Signal Intrusion. Now, I've been looking at this slip or this release for such a long time. The slipcover on here reminds me a little bit of a Vinegar Syndrome release. This is the movie from 2021, brand new movie. It looks spectacular, actually. And sometimes, though, when I saw it, it was only like that. And it's still a great cover, but I thought, no, I've got to get this slipcover. So when I saw it, I picked it up. And when I took it to when I took it to the counter to pay for it, the guy had said, I said, I've been looking at that movie quite a few times. He said, it looks really interesting. I says, well, to be honest, I don't know anything about it. I just know that I just love this slip so much and I just wanted to sort of have it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the movie would be pretty good. Now, when I put it on, the picture quality is great. You haven't got nothing to worry about there. But it actually sounds like a really good movie. And on the back it says, in the late 90s, a video archivist unearths a series of sinister private broadcasts and becomes obsessed with uncovering the conspiracy behind them. That sounds alright, doesn't it? So, yeah, the picture quality and the slipcover and, this release, I can't recommend it highly enough without watching the movie. So this release is by Lightbulb. Yeah, me neither. But they've done a really good version on this. I would like to check some more of their stuff out. So I'm very interested to see what this is going to be like. That's Broadcast Signal Intrusion. Next up, and I said I wouldn't touch this release with a barge pole, but I kept picking it up and putting it back and picking it up and putting it back. And I thought I'll get in the sale. And I thought, no, I want to see it because I've seen it. I love this movie. But I think the release is so lackluster, it's just unbelievable. But for £14, I had to pick up Pearl. Now, originally I thought, you know what it is? This has been released by A24 again. I don't know what they're playing with, why they just don't release 4Ks straight away with the Blu-rays, especially in the UK. And you get this one as well. It's a really cheap release for me of a brilliant movie, one of my favorite movies in recent times. But and it's no extras, no nothing. And I thought it couldn't be more of an insult, if I'm honest. That's why I wouldn't pick it up. But I wanted to see this like so much recently after just buying X, and I thought, well, I want to get them both watched. Now, this movie it said it was going to be on Amazon, so I thought, oh, great. And then it said you've got to pay for it, and I thought, well, it was already on there, and you had to pay for it. I don't know what that was about. I would have watched it, it was free, and I would have kept this one, and I would have got this eventually, or hopefully get one from a different country, which is better version. But anyway, I just wanted to get this. But the good news is that it has got extras on. It's got about 20 minutes of extras on, which you don't actually see at all. I don't think there's any mention of them on this box. I don't think you get the trailer, but you can see the trailer online, so that's not a problem. I do, to go on about it again, I do think that this release, there should have been much more put into this. It's just a travesty that they haven't got anything more than this as a release. And this will be coming down in the sale to next to nothing soon. I'm pretty sure of that. But eventually, as you all know, that this will come out. These will come out and they will be coming out in some really good, spectacular version. What I'm hoping for, that when Maxine comes out, eventually there'll be a trilogy pack come out in 4K of this because these movies, they do look great on Blu-ray. I put this on and look like sensational. It's a great looking movie. So is this one as well. They've just got such this just air about them. Just Mia Goth. She can't do no wrong in my books. She is. So which is my favourite in these ones? Well, I've got to say at the moment, without watching this for the second time, Pearl is Mia Goth is exceptional in here. She should have got an Oscar for it. It's as simple as that. In my eyes, she got my version of the Oscar on it. The I can't think of a word for that. Anyway, so yeah, so I do recommend this unless you're desperate for it like I was. Get it in a sale. It will be on a sale very quickly. Do know that it looks spectacular, and also you get two sort of behind the scenes things or special features which add up to 20 minutes. So it's not as bad as I originally thought. I do begrudge buying something which I don't think it's worth that much. It should be 12 quid all day long, this, or even 10 quid when it came out. But it is what it is. What do you do? But a great film. I can't recommend these two highly enough. And I can't wait for Maxine. So that's Pearl. I was looking for that box set from Arrow, the video store box set, and I've been talking to Nige, link down below to Rock God 2004's channel, and he showed me the package because I'd said, "Is this box like going to be too big for the shelves?" And he showed us it. I thought, "Oh, that looks really good." So I thought, right, I'm going to go and get one. And that was on the end of the stream from the Video Nasties. I thought, right, I'll go and the next day and I'll go and get have a look and see if I'll pick it up. So I went in and I had it on the shelves to say us behind the counter. So I thought, me being so clever, I thought what I'll do is I'll just come back and get it when we've been round the town. I don't want to hawk this huge hawk. That's a Geordie word for like take or carry, hawk. I don't want to hawk this huge box around. Well, not huge, but a box around. We'll do a shop and we'll come back and get that box. So anyway, went around, got the shopping. So I danced over to the empty box and said, to the counter and says, "Can I have one of them, please?" And the bloke says, "Oh, I just sold the last one an hour ago." Yeah, wow, that was a kick in the proverbials, wasn't it? He said there's only one in anyway, and I thought, oh, well, anyway. So I have ordered it, and it's on its way from Arrow. But and you just think, I don't believe it. That's my luck. So anyway, I saw this thing here, and I thought I will get it, but I didn't want to get it at the same time as that box set, because the box set was about 55 quid, although I don't know how much HMV was selling it for. It's 55 online. I would imagine it's 55 in the shop. So I saw this, and I thought, that looks really good. Now, there's a little bit of a thing with this, which I'll talk about. But for 24.99, I bought Cold Eyes of Fear. Now, this is a 4K from indicator of this movie. It's a Giallo movie from 1971, I believe. And yeah, the music's by Ennio Morricone, the amazing Ennio Morricone. Now, this is from 1971, and Bird with a Crystal Plumage is from 1970, I believe. And the music in here sounds really like it was done by the same bloke, Ennio Morricone. It sounds really like Bird with a Crystal Plumage. They're sort of like what, you know, butchering that. But that kind of strange noisescape they've got is in this movie as well. But I like the look of it. Now, what I did was I looked and there was 24.99 and there was one there for 19.99. I thought, oh, it's been mispriced. I'll have a bit of that. So I picked it up, exactly the same look to it, exactly the same box, I thought. And just as I was picking it up, I noticed that it didn't have that new HDR, 4K HDR restoration there. And it was a Blu Ray. Actually, when I looked on the back, there was no way that it was a 4K. And imagine going there and realizing you'd picked up the Blu-ray instead of 4K. So if you're getting this set, do keep an eye out for that because it's not like in your face. It's not on the spine or anything. So you might think you've got yourself a bargain, but you won't because, wow, you would have not got the 4K. So that would have been a double whammy, wouldn't it? Anyway, so in here, great set is so well done. You get this is one of these hard boxes, really hard box. Now, actually, if I'm doing that and you can't hear it because I can hear it banging off the thing, for some reason, this laptop, when you do things like that, you can't hear it. When you're playing it back, because loads of times I go like that to sync up my sound, and when I'm talking, when I'm doing editing, it doesn't. You don't hear it. I don't know why. Why doesn't you might be able to hear that, but usually you don't hear it. So anyway, I can tell you that this makes a great sound because it's a lovely hard box. It is packed to the gills with extras. And it's weird because I've never ever heard of this movie before. It's limited to 6,000, which is, I think you've got a lot of chance to get this movie. This is 2,483. There was a really good number on it, but it was on one of the Blu-rays, and I thought, wow, because that's the reason why I picked that one up. And this is directed by Enzo G. Castellaris, directed it. Now, he is the director of the amazing Bronx Warriors and Bronx Warriors 2. They would be so amazing to get them on 4K. I would love, actually, the UK to get a good version of Bronx Warriors in the shops. So in here you get this amazing, and I mean amazing booklet. This is I know these have released a few 4Ks, and this is the first one I've actually seen to buy physically. I'm liking the look of it. It's not numbered, thank God. Well, it is on the bottom, but it's not one that you can see, and it's not one that would stand out like a sore thumb when it's on the shelves, because nothing worse than that, is it? I mean, hello. It's got some great artwork in here. Now, these pictures here, they look amazing, and this movie looks absolutely stunning. The funny thing is about it, though, it looks like, I don't know anything if it's shot in one day, but it looks like it's shot at night time. All the shots that I put on when I was flicking through it, it looked like nighttime shoots. Now that's not too bad because the HDR in here really is the star. It brings it to life on the what you actually see in the darkness. Absolutely amazing. I mean, this book is just, you get tons and tons of different essays, tons and tons of pictures. They look a really interesting watch actually. If it's one of the early Giallos, that's even better. And how many pages in this? About 75 pages. That's Enzo there, who's actually still with us, which is always nice to hear. And there's your disc there. There's the artwork in here is spectacular. There's the extra features there that may be better for you to look at. And there's your 4K disc only. To me, that should have, I know I'm nitpicking here because it's a lovely booklet, but that should have taken the price down a little bit, maybe to £20. That's a very small nitpick. Yeah. So, didn't know anything about this movie. It's always nice sometimes when you're out and about and you just spot a movie and you think, I couldn't have got it at the same time as the video store set, but I'm so glad that it was not in actually, so I could pick this up. I don't think there was quite a few in there, although some of them were Blu-rays, so watch out about that. I don't think this will be sold out anytime soon, but a nice Giallo in 4K coming out of this like from nowhere. Yes, please, I'm all about that. So thanks for watching. You take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.